One drawback to bus service is getting stuck in traffic, but the ride can also be slowed down by the flow of passengers and payments. If it all passes through a single door, that can be a serious problem, especially for extended vehicles used in bus rapid transit. That's the reason for a new approach using all doors on the Silver Line through June 6th. The demonstration results from a partnership between the MBTA, Boston BRT, and the city, enabled by funding from the Barr Foundation. Joining us from the foundation is the Senior Program Officer for Climate, Mary Skelton Roberts, and the Director of Global and U.S. Initiatives at the Institute for Transportation and Development Policy, Michael Kodransky. Thank you much for being with us.
Thank you.
I want to start with Mary, because this is about one line, one part of the city, but what's the potential here if you can get this to really work?
The potential for improving transportation in Massachusetts is immeasurable. If we're able to get bus rapid transit and get gold standard that really gets people where they need to go as quickly, as efficiently, as convenient, it does a few things, Chris. Number one, it takes the pressure off the existing rail service. Number two, it closes important gaps. Right now, people are taking too long to get where they need to go, or they're commuting in ways that are just not convenient. They have to go into town and then come back and cross the city. That's just not convenient. And the third thing that it does, it helps the city become more resilient. As we're seeing changes in climate, having a bus system that complements the rail only makes our transportation system stronger.
Turn to Michael. Talk about the challenge here, because you want to get better flow of people and payments, but you don't want to have to hire additional personnel to make this work too. So how can it be done better?
So there are three pinch points in creating better bus service. One is buses get stuck in traffic. So if you give them a dedicated lane where they don't have other vehicles blocking that lane and that lane is enforced, you can get the vehicle moving more smoothly. The other place where you can improve service for the customer is at the place of boarding, at the station. So you can let them board at all doors, which is what we're doing in this demonstration project, and you can get them to pay for the fare before they get on the bus, so they don't need to queue up just at the front door. And that also takes away from the pressure from the driver, who has to take into account the safety of all passengers in managing that vehicle, and it takes away the need from them to really focus on also dealing with the fares. So you improve those two things and you get better service. And the third is you do something to the intersection to allow the bus to have priority. So you redesign the geometry of the intersection, or you improve the signalization of the intersection. If you focus on those three major things, you can get better service.
Mary, so you need optimum signalization, you need some traffic enforcement, and I guess yes, the city and the MBTA, they got that all figured out, right?
They did get it all figured out. I mean, one of the benefits we have as the foundation is being able to get different stakeholders at the table to negotiate and work together, and this is one example. So the city of Boston is doing what it does well. They're responsible for the street, so they're enforcing, they're making sure that that bus can travel down the lane unencumbered. MassDOT has provided the buses, they've made their MBTA staff available to make this pilot. Barr provided some of the funding to offset any lost revenues. And then we have community-based groups like Livable Streets Alliance. Nuestra Comunidad has been a long-term partner with us, helping to get the word out and saying to folks, we're trying this demonstration, and come check it out and let us know whether it's actually working for you.
Michael, people my age still believe the Silver Line's no match for the L between W Street and downtown, but how much shorter could this ride be if this works the way you hope it does?
Well, the most important thing is to really demonstrate the issue of imagination, that the bus can really perform in a way that is on par with a rail-based system. And we've seen a stigma with the bus around the country, not just in Boston, where all of these different treatments that can be done to make the bus service a premier service, actually the steps had not been taken to get it there. And so here's an opportunity to really work on the imagination piece. And as part of that, we have actually also been holding a station design competition where we got design teams from around the region and even internationally to imagine what could a bus rapid transit station look like if bus rapid transit, a premier bus-based service, existed in Boston. And so we got 12 submissions that were fantastic, and we just announced the winners of that competition. And we see that there's no lack of imagination. It does exist locally. We just need to unlock it.
Rory, what about the potential for doing this in other parts of the city? Because we have this in the Washington Street corridor now. I've heard talk about Blue Hill Avenue before. I guess that might be one of them?
Yes, in fact, we started this project about three years ago. And the first question Barr really wanted answered is, given the roads and how Boston is built, could you actually build and get BRT on the ground? We brought in ITDP, and they helped us answer that question. And the question really was, yes, there are 5 corridors that we know we can build bus rapid transit. Blue Hill Ave is one of them, and there are several others. The other thing that we wanted to understand is, if we can build it, can we help people understand what bus rapid transit really is versus what people think it is? And so part of what we did is we helped fund this piece of research that helped people understand bus rapid transit, when done at its highest level, has 5 core elements. And it's what Michael has talked about. You know, it has its own lane, it has signal prioritization, people can pay off board, people are able to, it has level boarding so that folks that are disabled or moms with strollers, they can literally just roll those strollers onto the bus. And we wanted people to understand that we don't have that here. We took people to Mexico City, and what we've been able to see in places like Mexico City and other places is there is a significant time savings.
Michael, a little time here. What about cities where they have taken extra steps and made this work really well? What can you say?
Yeah, so we've seen cities around the world, of course, have taken major steps in treating bus-based service as a premier type of service. The quality of the buses is really high. The quality of the customer experience is really high. And we're increasingly seeing more of that experience around the country in the U.S. So in Cleveland, the Health Line is a high-quality bus-based system. In Pittsburgh, the MLK Busway, we're seeing more and more of those types of systems propping up. And there is a huge opportunity to bring that kind of premier bus service to Boston.